We're ready to go.
Okay. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Bill, and today we're going to be working on a blower. I picked this up at a yard sale, and I got it cheap enough. And I had somebody call me just yesterday and say, "Hey, do you have a blower?" And I looked around and I didn't. And then I remembered I had this sitting off in a corner. And so let's get to work and let's see if we can't get it running. Okay, I picked this blower up a couple of days ago at a yard sale, and wait, my focus isn't right. Let me get focused in on it. There you go, that's a little bit better. Anyway, I picked this blower up at a yard sale, and I threw fuel lines on it and then stopped working on it. And I don't remember why, but I do know the carburetor is just a mess. It needs new everything. So let's get to this and see if we can't get her running. Okay, and I already had this off once. So I was taking a look at what I had here. And you can see, if you look here, the primer bulb's just a little bit broken. But we can fix that. So let's go ahead and get her apart. And that should do that. Okay, there's our carburetor. And she is entirely out of fuel, so we don't have to worry about spilling any fuel taking the fuel lines off. She's been sitting dry for quite a while. And as you can see, sitting dry hasn't been good to her. So let's go ahead and put a new metering diaphragm in it and put a new primer bulb on it, and we'll run the carburetor through the cleaner and see if we can't get this thing running. Okay, job one's to break her down. Let's go ahead and start warming up the ultrasonic. Okay, we got the ultrasonic warming up. And so let's go ahead and break her down and get her ready for a bath. Nice thing about the ultrasonic is it just works on vibrations in the water. So you don't have to worry about taking plastic parts off. You can just throw everything in. Okay, come on, buddy. This one seems happy here. Huh. And that one's there to stay. It's one seriously happy individual. There we go. It didn't have a seal, it had a death grip. And yeah, as you'd expect, everything looks pretty rough inside. Okay, no rust or anything. So, we're going to leave it just like this. We're going to go ahead and pull the top end off and throw her in. There we go, dropping stuff all over the place. That's what happens when you try to work on things. Look at that. You see that yellowish tint to everything? That's what gas does over time. Huh. That actually looks pretty okay considering everything. So let's pull her off gently. We'll lay her right there. You know something? I'm going to leave that on. So let's throw her in the bath and run her and see what happens. Where are you at? There you go. She looks a whole lot better now. I used the air hose to clean out all the passages and make sure everything was working correctly. So let's get her back together. Now I've got our new metering diaphragm. Sometimes these have a little tab on it that makes lining these up really easy. But not today. Today we just have to be talented. Okay, we'll use that one to hold it still. And if you've got anything bumping a gasket, if you try to put a screw in, there's a gasket underneath it in the way, start over again, because that means you don't have it lined up right. And the metering diaphragm really needs to be centered up pretty good. Notice we're starting all the screws before we put any torque on any of them. That way we know our gasket's lined up all the way around. Whoops. Let's try that one again. There she goes. Now she's going in nice for us. Okay. Now let's put our top back together. Make sure we haven't picked up any new creatures on this one. And this one does have little tabs on it to hold it together, so that makes it a little bit easier. There's that. Oh, and that goes like that. Oh, dropping screws all over the place. Okay, go back and forth on these, because you're lining up, the rubber is your seal here. You know, your parent bulb has a seal itself, and if you go back and forth, you're guaranteed it'll seal correctly. Okay, we're snug. We're snug. Remember, you're not setting any records for tightness here. Okay, and that's a carburetor. Let's toss her back on and see what happens. Now we'll go ahead and attach fuel lines. Okay, this is the exit line. And here's the one attached to the fuel filter. Okay, gasket's looking pretty good. So we'll get you in place. Next thing we'll do is get you in place. Whoops. Just like so. Let's get our first screw started. And there she is. That'll hold her still for a minute. There we go. Lost the bit for a second there. And that's reasonably snug. Let's double check this one, make sure she's reasonably snug now. There you go. Let's put a little gas in it. We're not going to adjust anything quite yet. What we will do is we'll shake the adjustments loose a little bit. I think that's Pac-Man on this one. And it is. So we're going to go quarter turn and then back. Here we're going to go quarter turn and then back. And that's it. Let's put some fuel on her and start her up. Okay, we got some gas in her. And it looks like it's got a little bit of a fuel leak. So we're going to have to tend to that. But that's just a new gas cap or perhaps a new O-ring for the gas cap. That we can still test her. And with these little carburetors, you just never know. We might get lucky. I went ahead and put the air cleaner back on, but I did see just a littlest leak of fuel. Let's get this out of the way. Full choke, full rabbit. Let's give her a pull. Now that was promising. Half choke, full rabbit. Let's give her a pull. No? Let's try it on run now. Yeah, that came out pretty nice. So, we're one O-ring away from a ready to go blower. That one came out really nice. I'm really happy with the way that sounds. We bought it at a yard sale. We put a primer bulb in it and did a little bit of a tune-up on it. New fuel lines. And she's ready to go. So, thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you next time.